Welcome to the Nick Pick Show. I'm your host, Amarvala. So today we are going to be talking about the incoming Trump administration, and how their policies or anything they basically do will impact our way of living, whether in Canada, U.S., Mexico, many different countries, maybe Europe, including Ukraine. So the incoming administration promised a 25% or a 100% tariff on France. I remember this famous clip where Donald Trump said, Macron is a nice guy, but I said Macron wanted to charge 25% on American goods, and then Donald Trump said he wants to charge 100%, which is stupid. The average American buyer pays that. So the American people, if you voted for him, you're gonna be devastated, just like how you were in 2016. Then you said, "Fuck this guy. I'm going with Biden." Biden didn't win because he's a good candidate. Literally, I believe the news, which I don't really like. That's why I've made this podcast, because many anchors are becoming a little unpopular. So people are heading towards podcast, social media, independent outlet instead of these big organizations like like CNN, MSNBC, yeah, Fox and Friends. Fox and Friends is popular. You can't question that. So that's why I joined into. I didn't join. I have an independent channel where I talk about issues. So the 100% tariff isn't good. American buyers pay for that. And on the Canada-Mexico, President Donald Trump is actually violating his own rules. The USMCA, which was passed on January 29th, 2020, which says that they, I forgot what it was, which he's breaking his own rule, literally, by putting tariffs. So that's where Trump has never broken his own rule. I mean, he has. But yeah, that's about it. But we need partners. Like, I'm not in America, but America needs partners. They say, oh, this is the greatest nation on earth. I mean, it sort of is, but it couldn't be without other countries. Like, any country needs America. Not Europe needs America. America needs Europe. Canada needs America. Canada needs Europe. Mexico needs America. America needs Mexico. Different countries around the world. Excuse me. But the point is, isolationism is not a good thing, and it drives away allies. And as a business idea, Trump's tariffs and his form of new conservative isolationism is not good, because it hurts businesses. I know conservatives are a big fan of capitalism, and I sort of believe it. It's built for the entrepreneur, but if you're in the low class, it's a little like wokeist to get up. Like, capitalism is great for the top 1%, but like, imagine you want to grow. You can eventually, but it's difficult. Yeah, it's 100% difficult. But socialism is a good idea, but their policy for entrepreneurship, I don't agree, because we need entrepreneurs in the real estate market. Socialism is good for working class people, and I agree with many things, like free lunch school, like free lunch in school, the free lunch in school program, the after school education, the CHIPS Act passed by Joe Biden. But I criticize everybody, like, for incompetence. It's a word I like to use with people who are terrible and nasty, and they don't do an effective job. I don't criticize. I'm not afraid of anyone. I criticize whoever does a poor job. But these tariffs are maybe good for Americans, but I doubt it. But if like Trump hits Europe, like imagine with the golf club 100 times, Europe's not gonna like Trump. They're gonna say, "Fucker, we've been good friends with every U.S. president, but you this form of isolationism." Trump even wants to pull out of NATO. Imagine how stupid that is. But as a business guy, I don't like to pay other people's bills. Like, they say, oh, they make excuses. The European Union, has to pay more, and I believe that. Because just because you're Europe doesn't mean you can't pay anything. You guys combined can even maybe one day be powerful than America itself. And America needs Europe to be successful. Sorry, I'm having a little snack. But yeah, I don't believe in Trump's tariff. My next segment, what should it be in this recording that I'm doing? Let me think. Okay. So I got it. For the next segment, I'm just gonna be talking about the 2028 presidential hopeful. Comment who you want to run in 2028. I heard this guy once saying Trump's economy is gonna be so worse that it's gonna drive J.D. Vance so hard that a presidential run for him is gonna be really hard. But we just have to see. We have 48 months ahead of us. We just have to see how this goes. But I don't think Republicans are going to challenge J.D. Vance. Because Vance is supported by the main dog of the Republican Party. Trump literally runs the GOP. He killed Pence. McCain is no longer here. Romney's leaving. Lindsey Graham, old conservatives love him. We have the backing of Elon Musk, Vivek Ramaswamy, all his former 2023 primary rivals are now endorsing him. He's the second most powerful president in the GOP since Reagan. So I don't think if he endorses J.D. Vance, J.D.'s gonna have a challenger in the party. Maybe an old conservative, 1990, 1980 conservative will rise up to him, even a 2000 conservative, but I don't think that. JD's the nominee, 100%. Who should be the Democratic nominee? People say, oh, Kamala's gonna run for governor, then in 2 years she's gonna run for vice president. That's a really hard thing to do. And I mean, why would you run for governor if in 2 years you want to be the presidential candidate again? Some people speculate it's Josh Shapiro, which I personally support. I think an AOC Shapiro ticket is beautiful. AOC is young. She's a Democrat with new ideas, and Shapiro is a Pennsylvania young president who's Catholic. I don't know. I don't really know the background. But Tim Walz is also a good candidate, but he screwed up badly in the debate. You know, Mike Pence was in the 2020 VP debate when he was sitting like this, and then a fly landed on his head. But Tim Walz said he's friends with school shooters. That's the political suicide. You can't recover if you say something that stupid. I befriended school shooters. In debates, you need to be calm. Mike Pence was a great debater, even though the fly landed on his head. But we need new generations. But Mike Pence was calm. Tim Walz and Tim Kaine are sort of alike. They have this coolish thing that their running mates chose in them. Both were women and they lost. So I think a debater like Pence, but much younger, for the Democrats, because the Democrats, if they want to win, they need to use some Republican tactic. And I know they say it's nasty, it's not fair, conservatives are a little crappy, but this is how you win. Republicans have always been good on messaging. I don't agree with some policies they have, but I agree they're good in messaging 100%, no question about it. But if they want to win, they need to use proper messaging, not crappy messaging that they will lose. Because the Democrats took a woodshed, they beat the Republicans, fuck them in the head in this election. But the Democrats need an amazing comeback because their party depends on it. The last time a Republican had the biggest landslide, remember in the 80s and early 90s, 12 years of Republican reign. If Bush had won, it would have been more. But I think a J.D. Vance Glenn Youngkin ticket versus a Shapiro AOC ticket is amazing. I personally like it. If the sounding is bad, let me tell you. Glenn Youngkin for the vice presidential candidate, J.D. Vance for the presidential candidate, Shapiro for the presidential candidate, and AOC for the vice presidential candidate. A beautiful ticket. Kamala Harris was a smart vice president, but she debated Pence really well. And she also debated Trump really well. But it was really stupid. It won on CNN, different. If you had gone to the Joe Rogan, and I know they're scared, because in a pressure interview, I also have it that I'll say something weird, and Joe Rogan supporters, even before Rogan's endorsement, were leaning towards Republicans and Donald Trump, especially. But yeah, that ticket in 2028, the two of them would be great. Another thing I would like to talk about, what else should I talk about in this podcast? Maybe, so maybe I should just end it, but for my next video, I'm just going to tell you what I'm going to talk about for my next 2 videos. Are residential complexes and other forms of buildings good for the environment? Because when I go everywhere, they want to build something, and I love buildings. I'm a big fan, but they just want to build. And is it good for the earth? I think under the earth there's something that isn't good because they want to build. I think there should be a limit on buildings and condominiums and commercials because it's taking over everything, and the world needs to stay together, and there must be more plants and free open land. So we're going to talk about that in our not the next segment, but the segment after that. So yeah, that wraps up our podcast for today. This is the place where I have to say goodbye. Goodbye.